The Maasai Mara does not create kings with kindness. It shapes them with drought, with hunger, with battles written into the dust. Before the world knew his name, before the scar carved his face into legend, Scarface was simply one cub among many, fragile, uncertain, one life in a place where most never reach adulthood. Born in 2007, deep in the Marsh Pride's territory, he entered the world during a turbulent era. Dominant males fighting for control, lionesses defending cubs from invading males, a pride famous thanks to BBC documentaries, yet soaked in blood behind the cameras. Only 1 in 8 lion cubs survived the first years. Scarface did. Not because he was the biggest, not because he was the strongest, but because he learned early that survival was earned, never given. As a young cub, he followed his mother through reeds taller than his head, learned to stalk birds before antelope, and watched older males roar into the night. Those roars weren't music, they were warnings. The Mara belonged to whoever was willing to shed enough blood for it. Even then, Scarface's eyes held something different. Not fear, not defiance, a quiet resolve, the kind that would one day reshape the land. Chapter 1. The Brothers of Exile. As he grew into adolescence, Scarface left the Marsh Pride with 3 brothers, Marani, Sikio, and Hunter. 4 young males, no territory, no lionesses, no future, only exile. They roamed through long grass like ghosts scavenging hyena, leftovers, stealing kills from vultures, avoiding dominant males who would kill them for sport. But through struggle, something powerful formed between them. A bond, a coalition, a future. The Mara would come to call them the 4 Musketeers, a brotherhood so unified that rival coalitions avoided even testing them. Each brother brought something different. Marani bold, fire-hearted. Sikio observant and calculated. Hunter reckless, unpredictable. Scarface unbreakable, will beneath a calm exterior. Together, they waited for an opportunity big enough to rewrite their fate. It came in 2012. Chapter 2. The Scar that made a legend. The Marsh Pride Scarface's birthplace was ruled by 2 aging males, Romeo and Claude. They were powerful once, but time had dulled their strength. The Musketeers moved before dawn, slipping into the marshlands like a rising storm. The battle that followed would define Scarface's life. Lion bodies collided, roars tore across the plains. The ground shook beneath claw and muscle. During the chaos, a rival claw ripped across Scarface's right eye, tearing away his upper eyelid. Blood poured down his face. One eye stuck permanently open, vision blurred, pain pulsing like fire. But he didn't fall back. Scarface charged forward with a fury few had ever seen. His brothers pushed alongside him. Romeo fled. Claude collapsed beneath the weight of 4 powerful young males. When the dust settled, the pride was theirs, and Scarface, now forever marked, became the lion every guide, ranger, and tourist would soon recognize. The scar did not weaken him, it crowned him. Chapter 3. The 4 Kings of the Marsh. With the Marsh Pride claimed, the 4 Musketeers entered their golden era. They controlled not only one pride, but an empire, a territory stretching nearly 400 square kilometers, an enormous kingdom in lion terms. Scarface's dark mane grew thick and imposing. His posture carried the confidence of a ruler, and soon he became more than a fighter, he became a father. But what set Scarface apart wasn't his dominance, it was his gentleness. Researchers watched him interact with cubs and saw something rare. A patient, tolerant, soft giant. Cubs climbed over him, batted his tail, tugged on his mane, and Scarface let them, sometimes closing his good eye, half in contentment. He had become the soul of the Marsh Pride, feared by rivals, adored by cubs. But the Mara never lets kings rest. Chapter 4. the spear, and the return. In 2016, Scarface made the mistake all lions eventually do crossing into human land. A Maasai herder, defending his cattle, speared Scarface deep in the side. A wound like that kills most lions. Scarface staggered, bleeding heavily, struggling for breath. His coalition, helpless, kept hyenas at bay as night fell. Word spread quickly the Mara's most famous lion was dying, but the Mara's veterinarians arrived in time. They sedated Scarface, cleaned his wound, fought for his life. And Scarface fought too. Weeks later, he returned. Lean, limping, scarred again but alive. A lion that survives nature is strong. A lion that survives humans is extraordinary. From that day on, Scarface wasn't just a king. He was a miracle. Chapter 5. Rivals, Rain, and the Slow Fall. Years passed. The Mara changed. New coalitions rose. One by one, Scarface's brothers fell. Hunter disappeared in 2019. Sikio died from territorial battle injuries. Marani, aging alongside Scarface, stayed with him as long as he could. The last two musketeers patrolled their old territories slowly, painfully, but proudly. Younger coalitions like the Sailors' Boys watched them closely. Ambition in their eyes, strength in their bodies. But even these rising kings hesitated when Scarface snarled. Not because he could win, but because he already had, for longer than any male lion should. Scarface was now a relic of an older Mara, a legend walking on worn bones. Chapter 6. The Final Trek. In early 2020, Scarface left his pride and wandered alone. Thin, weak, nearly blind on one side, moving with the stiffness of age. He crossed valleys, hobbled through marshes, walked past hippo carcasses where young males fed. He traveled 25 kilometers, an impossible distance for an old lion. But he wasn't wandering. He was going home, back to the territory of his youth, back to where he first bled, back to where he first ruled. Even the Sailors' Boys, now dominant, gave him passage. He snarled once, a whisper of his former thunder, and they stepped aside. Chapter 7. The king dies as he lived. The 11th of June 2020. Scarface lay beneath an acacia tree, body frail but breathing calmly. No wounds from a rival, no hyenas gnawing at his limbs, no storm of roars in the background, just wind, grass, and the land that built him. Rangers kept their distance, letting the lion die wild and free. Undisturbed something almost no male lion lives long enough to earn. By evening, he was gone, a peaceful death for a lion who lived a violent, relentless life. A miracle in itself. Chapter 8. The Legacy of a Scar. In the days that followed, guides cried, tourists mourned. Conservation organizations around the world posted tributes. Photographers shared their most iconic images of him. Scarface had become more than a lion. He was a symbol of resilience, of survival, of the fight to keep wildlife alive in a changing world. He fathered generations of cubs, drew thousands of tourists whose dollars funded conservation, headlined global campaigns for lion protection, became the face on magazine covers, documentaries, and wildlife books. His story scarred, battered, but unbroken inspired millions. Scarface did not die with a kingdom. He died with something greater, a legacy, one earned through tooth and claw, through drought and injury, through exile and dominance, through pain and perseverance. A legacy written not in blood, but in memory. The Mara will never see another like him.
To watch the full-length video, see products, updates, and get more information, visit eternaanimal.com.
Eterna Studios.